This is why you died.
Hello all and welcome to This Is Why You Died, a podcast about horror movies. And not just about any horror movies, really good ones that we are inspired to discuss by drawing prompts out of a box and then choosing them through the inspiration the box provides. It's kind of like Hellraiser, but with less come to daddy and more pleasure and pain indivisible. My name is Sir Ian Dangerous, aka your Uncle Frank, and joining me here to tear your souls apart, the Twitch chatterer Cenobite Ryan Ross live, and this camerahead Cenobite himself, Dan Marcha Madness. Welcome to the show, boys.
Wow. Ryan, do you even know what a Cenobite is?
I do, because of Dead by Daylight.
Yeah! Video games for the win. I love it.
Reference. I'm so happy that you added that to daddy to your sentence there, because it was almost ending very dramatically. I was like, what is he saying? And then you added more to it. You're fine. You're good.
I want you to know that just in line with the daddy line is there's a meme from Dead by Daylight about Hellraiser, because they include the box as a mechanic. And you can try and solve it, but then if you do, he can teleport to the box, and you get it's one of the only voice lines he says during the match, but he says, "You summoned me, and I came."
Yes! That's amazing.
That has been memed on quite a bit for reasons that you can probably conclude yourself.
I am sure.
Well, in the movie, it's "we came," so it's a little bit more inclusive in the movie.
But of course.
But that being said, we are here to talk about movies, and this week, actually, it's Dan's choice for what we're going to watch. But we have a little bit of business before we get to the actual movie on the show.
No.
We got to do some serious stuff first. I know, and I'm sorry to bring it down, but we are still experiencing the fallout from all of these fires here in LA. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening, I can't even begin to describe you the devastation that is going on down here. It may be mostly on the edges of the city, and the communities that are out there are still very vibrant, and they are suffering right now. So if there is any way that you can send any aid to LA, it is a great thing to do. We here on the show are doing our best to help out our communities down here. I know, Ryan, you in particular, actually, you have on your Twitch stream for your channel, did a 24-hour stream? What did you do?
Correct. So charity's been a big part of my channel since the beginning. I used to do as milestones every 100 followers, and then there was a day that we did a charity stream, and we went from one checkpoint to the other in the same stream, and I had to do them back to back. So eventually I had to back it off of 100 to every 250. But every milestone we do charity streams, and then also every year anniversary. I tend to do 12 hours for the milestones, and then I do 24-hour every year as kind of like a celebration of the community and how long we've been together. And so this year was 6 years on Twitch. And to celebrate, we did.
That's so great.
Thank you. And to celebrate, we did a 24-hour charity to benefit the American Red Cross in support of the Los Angeles wildfires, and we raised about $650 in 24 hours amongst the community. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I always enjoy being able to kind of do fun things and bring good people together for a good cause. It's my kind of way of giving back. So I always
That's
love
fantastic, man. I feel bad because I was planning on making a grand entrance into the stream right at the end, and then of course I showed up 25 minutes after you ended the stream, and I felt like
I was
shit.
ready to pass out. I was so
You probably I should have just lied and said I was there, and you wouldn't have remembered. Oh yeah, thanks for showing up, man.
I was still conscious. I was just zombified,
24 hours straight on a stream.
I don't know how you do it.
Good Lord.
A lot of caffeine.
A lot of caffeine and ample food and snacks, and then luckily I've got people kind of helping me rally throughout.
Nice,
we have shifts.
I love it.
So,
tasers. I recommend tasers for the next one. Just self-tase yourself, like Johnny Knoxville, and just wake yourself up.
Oh, you didn't know? That's the whole thing. You weren't there. You didn't see it. I get tased every 15 minutes.
Oh, I'm showing up next time.
That keeps you up. It keeps you up.
Well, that being said, speaking of charities, I wanted to throw out some charities that you guys can go to if you're listening to the show right now. Personally, I'm calling out for the little critters. We obviously had a lot of animals that were left homeless after this. Pasadena Animal Shelter has got got 1,000 plus animals that they're taking care of right now that have been left homeless by the fire. PasadenaHumane.org. And I know, boys, you have some charities that you're organizing for right now as well. Do you guys want to shout those out real quick?
Yeah, I would love to push World Food Kitchen. I talked about it a few episodes ago too, but they are that's kind of like a group of kind of world famous chefs that have come together to help out in need in different times of crisis. And so now we're here in need, and they've been feeding not only the victims of the wildfires who have lost their homes, but also feeding the firefighters and the first responders too on staff. They've got food trucks there and just like churning out food for people in need. So World Food Kitchen, if you can give to them, it's a great charity doing great
and if
work.
you're not giving to charity, go to any of Jose Andres' restaurants and you'll be happy as hell. He's the guy who organized that, and he's a fantastic chef, and his restaurants are awesome as well. And then Ryan, I know you're organizing for a couple of charities, right?
Yeah, so we did the 24-hour to benefit the American Red Cross because they're big on disaster relief, and they have a specific route for people to donate to the Los Angeles wildfires. And then also Habitat for Humanity does a lot for people who have lost their homes or need shelter or basic necessities. And so both of those are really great organizations. They're rated really highly on Charity Navigator. Definitely worth checking out.
That's fantastic, man. Well, thank you. Yeah, everyone, please go check those out and do your best for our lovely hometown here. We're definitely hurting. We're trying our best to get back on our collective feet. But that being said, we need to move on into our show and discuss some movies. We've been going now. This is I think our 10th episode, not including our bonus episode. We're now officially into round 4. We're into round 4. We go by rounds of 3. We each pick a movie, and that's each round. So we're back to the beginning of the round. It is Dan's turn this time. We have been going.
This is episode 11.
Episode 11.
Technically, with the bonus
with
episode.
The bonus. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, and so
I can't math. It's fine.
That's okay. You're still coming down off the 24-hour charity marathon that you did. In addition,
he can't do math anymore.
In addition, we've knocked Ryan a bit silly on this show. I think we've been putting so much horror movies in his head that he's actually something I want to before we even get into this movie here.
We're not going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk.
Let's bring it up.
Oh no,
we're talking about it. So Ryan, the other day on the day that our Lord and Saint David Lynch passed away, rest in peace.
R.I.P. David Lynch.
R.I.P. On that day, on that morning, Ryan texts me and Dan and says, "Guys, I had a weird dream last night." And we go, what was this weird dream? And ladies and gentlemen, I want to do something a little special on the show here. Dan, I think you have it pulled up on your phone. Would you please?
I have it pulled up because he left the message. He left the message, and then I completely followed with David Lynch passing. So I buried this. I didn't listen to it.
You haven't even listened to it yet?
This is me live listening to it now too. I'm experiencing this with the audience as well. So I'm in it. I'm ready. I'm excited. So
I've listened to it. I need the audience to hear this because apparently Gerald's game messed with Ryan's mind. But
at least let me preface with the preface I gave you guys. So I texted them and I said, guys, I had a weird dream that I was both actively living the experience of a Mike Flanagan movie while also simultaneously going through a college tour, which for the record, I haven't been in college in over 10 years. And so I have no idea where this came from, but I guess we're doing this.
But
Here we go.
No.
Yeah, just for your descriptiveness alone. All right, so Dan hit it. We're going to play it off of Dan's phone into the mic, and we're all going to react as Dan is going to react as he listens to it for the first time. So here we go. Ryan's dream.
3, 2, 1.
So we start on this frosted glass building that's almost like a contemporary art or contemporary modern building, but all of the walls are frosted glass, and it's like if IMDb were for movie staff or like a casting agency of it had all the names of all these different directors and stuff and the projects, the upcoming projects they're committed to. And Mike Flanagan's name was on the wall with these 2 upcoming films. And I'm there with this tour guide guy or whatever that supposedly is going to guide me through the school later. I'm like a student ambassador or something. And Mike Flanagan is standing in front of his name, negotiating with somebody. And I'm like, wow, this must be a really big passion project for him. He's got these other 2 upcoming films. I don't know how he'd have time to film this, but he really seems like he wants to. And then the guide was basically like, well, he's actually filming at the school we're going to be visiting later. And then we flash forward, and we're in this classroom, and we're in the second to back row, and the teacher's like off to the side in front of windows teaching. And everybody's got a handout of like some sort of paper or something.
It's so specific.
I turn to the row behind me, and it's got these girls in it, and it seems like I know one of them or whatever, and I make eye contact with her, and she makes full eye contact with me, and then starts like, while she's making eye contact with me, ripping the handout down the middle. And as she does so, all the other students in the classroom take up their handout and start ripping it down the middle.
What?
And the teacher like seems distraught, and then they like
this isn't even the weird part. Pieces.
And then all of them, except for me and this tour guide guy, who clearly have no idea what's going on, get up and leave, like in synchronized, like in a synchronized fashion. And the teacher seemed distraught. And is like, okay, class is over, and we're like, okay. So we go to leave, and suddenly I have luggage, like a suitcase, and we're in the hallway, and there's another woman who walks up.
I take no ownership of this part.
It's doing like almost like a drug pig type thing.
What?
But it gets like a hit on me and starts smelling me, and they're like, oh, it smells the fog, whatever the fuck the fog is. And so then it like moves from me to the luggage, and they like push me away from the luggage. And the pig noses open the zipper on the luggage and gets inside. And then the woman pulls out a gun and shoots the bag with the pig in it. And we're like, oh my God, what the fuck? And she's like, no, hold on. And then the pig crawls out. And at this point, this gets really unhinged. So I take no ownership of the drink.
Oh, now it gets unhinged.
The pig like crawls out of the bag, and its leg is like hanging as if like somehow the bullet like knocked off most of its leg. It's like crawling out of the bag, leaving all this blood or whatever. But then the bag keeps moving, and another woman crawls out of the bag and is like shot in the torso.
Oh my God,
this woman's shot. But then she crawls up on the luggage and like straddles it, and like there's this weird thing where she's like starting to seem like it's like she's giving birth or something, and the luggage starts moving underneath her as if there's something else inside. And we're like, this is kind of messed up, so we bail. And in classic Dream fashion, none of that is ever mentioned again. And then we like pass like an animal rights protest or something, and then we're going to...
All right, Dan, cut it there. It keeps going. It keeps going and it keeps going. Dan is laughing so hard he can't even hold the phone
stop.
Near the mic.
Oh my gosh, I can't even stop. Wow.
So this goes on. This goes on, ladies and gentlemen. I'll
listen to the rest later. I'll listen to the rest later. Wow, it's so vivid. And
he remembers so much. It's so detailed.
Well, okay, I woke up, right? And like so the whole normally I'm not a dreamer. Normally I'm somebody who I go to bed.
So you saved up for this one, apparently.
Well, I think it's just the fact I had to wake up early to go into work for a broadcast that morning. And I think because the alarm woke me up in a time that I would normally be asleep, I was like, like in the REM cycle stuff of like, I was like in it. And then I woke up and you're in that kind of like state where you're like half asleep, half awake. And then I like got conscious enough to realize that it was related to Mike Flanagan. And like, there's a point where you guys appear at the end of the pod, and we like talk about it on the podcast in this weird meta sense. And so I was like, I have to tell them about this. So I was like running through sections in my mind, trying to make sure I didn't forget anything.
It's hilarious. Wow. But the thing is like, once I listened to this, and then like an hour later, we got the news that David Lynch had passed. The only thing I could think is David Lynch blessed you with a David Lynch dream.
It's such
on
a
his
David
way
Lynch,
out of this world.
It's such a weird, like, it's so weird. I love the other woman that crawled out of the bag, like surprise.
That's
crazy.
My God.
Was this before or after you watched Audition?
Yes, that's a good question.
This is before. That's
weird. That's really
significantly
weird.
Before. This is like a week and a half before.
So much like Audition. That's crazy. Wow.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, so
that's incredible.
We have Ryan's David Lynchian Mike Flanagan dream.
That's gonna live forever on the internet. And now
that's only half of it.
As it should. Yes, it should. We'll have to post the entire thing somewhere.
Yeah, we'll put the full thing up.
We don't have
put it on our socials or something.
We don't have time to do the full 6-minute one.
Might as well now.
You all got a taste.
Now.
We'll post it somewhere where you can have the entire experience.
You gotta act it out now, Ryan. We'll have to
please.
Reenact the whole thing.
We gotta make a video of it in honor of Mr. Lynch.
I am never sending you guys voice memos again.
You have to do it right on the show next time.
Oh my God.
We'll record it straight into the mic. But that being said, we have to talk about a horror movie on this show at some point. And it is this week. We're gonna take the spotlight and the heat off of Ryan for a second. He's sweating over there.
Sweating
He's under the gun. His dreams are being analyzed.
Prepared.
Pigs and women and bullets and Mike Flanagan.
What the fuck is the fog?
The fog. I love it. The fog.
That could be a prompt to watch a Carpenter movie.
Very true.
Not
then you can find out what the fog is.
Yes, then you can find out. You'll know what the fog is, or the mist. But that being said, so Dan, nothing supernatural here. Well, actually, I guess a little supernatural. But you had what was your prompt, and then what movie are we going to watch this week?
My prompt was technology, and so I chose the movie Host. The reason I went that route is that Host is a found footage movie that was shot in 2020 during the COVID-19 lockdown. And so they shot the movie entirely on Zoom. So I like the idea of this horror movie kind of embracing this technology that we all had to gravitate to as this whole thing like upended our lives, and like so it's completely relevant, and then making it relatable, completely accessible, and then just super scary. And I loved how it used technology to tell a story and to kind of tell a found footage, to show found footage in kind of a new way, which, it's hard to reinvent the genre just because they've been doing it for so often. And there's so many like copycats when something works, that it's really nice and refreshing when someone can do it well in a new way. And that's what really excited me when I saw it in 2020.
All right. Yeah, no, it's definitely an original movie. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen Host, now is the time that we recommend that you go do so.
Spoiler alert!
It's definitely worth a watch.
Oh, did not go. Spoiler alert!
Oh, spoiler alert. Indeed. Watch out for the spoilers. They are coming. So if you have not watched it, beyond this point, abandon all hope. If you have not seen the movie, we are going to spoil the absolute shit out of it. So Host is it's about a group of friends who hold a seance over Zoom during the pandemic, directed by Rob Savage, who actually just 2023, he did The Boogeyman. So he did have some success. Yeah, he did have some success after this movie, which props to him, because this movie was, as I understand, he conceptualized this movie and then had it out on Shudder within 3 months.
Yes, that's correct.
So it was initially a prank.
He pranked his friends over Zoom.
Yeah, he pranked his friends over Zoom, and he released it on YouTube, and it got so popular.
Went viral. Yeah,
it went viral. He was approached by some people who were like, "Dude, make a feature length of that, and we will put it out somewhere." So he did. He's like, "The fuck else am I going to do? It's COVID.
Yeah,
I'm stuck in my house."
So you got to work. You're a filmmaker. How are you going to work when the whole world shuts down? And he found a way to do it.
He sure did, and he got a bunch of actors to all film in their own spaces, in their own houses. They did all their own stunts. They did all their own makeup. He taught them how to do all the effects that were needed. And then we got this movie.
And are they all actually actors, or are they just, I thought they were just like friends, like they're just casual. I don't know how many of them even have acting experience.
There's two I know that are actual actors and or filmmakers. And then I think there's some that were friends, but for the most part, yeah.
What I remember hearing too, because I remember when it first came out, he was being interviewed. I listened to some good podcasts where he told the story of it. But I do remember that I think 2 or 3 of the people involved in it too were stunt choreographers that didn't have anything to do well. So like they were a part of it. So yeah, they were like really figuring out how to make it look believable while having to shoot in, separate remote locations all at once. So
yeah, at the same time, which I mean, the from a technical standpoint, to get everything lined up in this movie is just, it's incredible. And some of the editing that he did and working with the Zoom technology, it really is the amount of, I can't imagine the amount of experimentation that had to go into this. I mean, it's about as basic and as straightforward a horror plot as you really can possibly get. It's just 6 people are like, let's have a seance, and they contact a medium, and then shit goes wrong, and then it's over. And that's it. And it's just, you get a couple of minutes of character development, and then we're off to the races. And then 10, 15 minutes of things are normal, and then shit goes wrong pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Ryan, I'm going to throw it to you. What did you think of Dan's movie here? Because we know Dan liked it. He suggested it to us. He has his reasons. I can see why he has his reasons.
I'll be honest. So I honored Dan's wishes. I did watch this in a dark room on my computer, and I went an extra step and I gathered a few friends who, and so obviously Sasha and I watched these movies together, but I also looped in 2 friends of mine who are fans of the podcast that have been active listeners, and we watched it together in a video call.
Oh, that's
rad. In a video
so
call.
Cool. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
I streamed the movie to the video call, and we all watched it together, and we like had our mics off so we weren't like chatting during the movie or anything. But we actively viewed it all together.
It's like hostception.
And that kind of brought it brought a new level to it, I'll be honest, because sitting at a computer, you're in it, but then also when you're in a video call with other people, watching a video call go horribly wrong, there's kind of a weird element to that.
That's so cool. That's
especially
fun.
with certain people catching certain things at different moments. So that was super cool. And yeah, it's very unique. I wasn't really sure what to expect. And there was definitely parts early in the movie that were getting on my nerves. Like it's a little too real of like having people like leaning and they're mostly out of camera. And you're like, God, oh my God, tilt the camera down, please.
That's
like,
what I love about it. Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Light.
Oh my God. But eventually, as it gets rolling, you really get into it. And there's some really cool stuff in it.
Dan, I want to get your thoughts on this too, because you obviously, I feel like you have a connection to this movie. You're a filmmaker yourself. You've made a lot of films, and some of them on a shoestring budget. Was this movie inspirational to you, or like what was the effect this movie had on you?
I think that's why it was because I think, I feel like Rob Savage is probably around my age, maybe a little bit older, maybe a little bit younger, but like we're all kind of making movies we're all doing it at this right time. And when the pandemic hit, everything, really shut down, especially for like a studio and movie on the movie side. And so to see a filmmaker thrive and figure out how to do it was just very inspirational. And I wanted to know more about how they did it, because I was like, oh, it's an all Zoom horror movie. I want to watch it. And I just watched it, not really knowing much about it. And it blew me away when I first saw it. So then I had to I listened to a couple podcasts with him on it, and just like kind of learned and, heard him tell the story about how he made it and how he brought the people together and, to make everything work and be believable. And it just, it inspires that filmmaking side of me of like, there's always a way and there's always a new way to tell it. It's like if you can kind of tap in to what's going on. And I think that's what's great about horror, is that the horror genre can kind of tap into our current fears and then kind of twist them in a way where it's entertaining or it's scary, but it's like it's really saying something about the times that we're in. And so that's what I love about this, is it really captured that feeling of like being scared, feeling alone, but wanting some sort of connection with people. And so like really capturing what it felt like to interact with people on Zoom during kind of a very life-changing, scary moment that none of us had been through. And I feel like it kind of took those feelings we were having and elevated it, but then also made it incredibly kind of fun to watch too. Cause it's like, it's just like the ways that this entity that they've brought out is kind of attacking them is very like spooky and scary and inventive. And so I think I had a lot of fun watching it too, for it not only being inspirational to me as a filmmaker. So that's why I think it really kind of is a special one for me. It's why I really like this movie a lot, and why it's such
it's such an angry ghost too, or demon, really, or tulpa, or whatever the fuck it is. It's so angry.
It's so angry.
Also, as of recording, Rob Savage is around 32.
Oh my, he's younger than me. So there he is.
He's a baby.
He was born in July of 1992.
He's such a creative little baby boy.
Yeah, it's good for him, man. He's on his way. But it's funny because you see a lot of these found footage movies. Let's say Blair Witch or Paranormal Activity, and they take a while and they slowly build up, and then at the end, and it all goes nuts. They really build up slowly to it, and in this one, it is a lean, mean 57 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And part of that part of that is really because I don't think that they could have made it go any longer. Skinnamarink biggest sin was the fact that it was a great idea that was stretched for way the fuck too long. And this is a movie where I feel like this is the exact right length for this movie. And they bring it into the plot, where the plot is even like, if you want to buy more time on Zoom.
Because it's the exact time that you get from Zoom is like the amount of time
you get
of
an
the
hour.
movie.
Which is really impressive.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was such I laughed when that little alert popped up. You have 10 minutes left.
I love that too, because it's like it's counting down. You're like, something's gonna happen.
Like,
and you're
shit!
seeing
The movie's
it. Like, so
we're counting down to the end. What else is gonna happen? And are they gonna end it on a big moment?
Even the credits being like a Zoom window. Actually, so I was streaming this movie to this call, right? And at first, the movie starts off completely silent with nothing but click noises. And they like sent me a message like, "Can you turn off your clicking?" I'm like, "That's not me. That's the movie."
Oh, that's perfect. What a great way to do it. Here I am. I'm watching it at work. I watched it on my laptop at my little workstation over in the corner, all alone on my floor. I was completely alone, which is good because ironically, I actually had some massive technological difficulties getting this to work for whatever reason. Everything else works smoothly at my work, but I tried to watch this on Shudder on my computer, and I shit you not, from the time I sat down to try to watch this at work to the time that I actually got the movie to play, because of all the hurdles between Shudder not taking my password and my computer and not wanting to play on my phone and my headphones screwing up, it was an hour. It was as long as the movie to get the damn movie to play. And by that point, I was so mad at technology that 5 minutes into the movie of these chicks just, and the bad signals on their phones and the noise and I was just so annoyed. I had to stop. And I had to come back an hour later so I could give the movie a fair shake because I was so mad at technology.
He was truly haunted by the prompt.
Yeah.
I was haunted by technology. And I was like, this is going to be so appropriate. This movie is about technology haunting people.
Right.
And no, it was a regular old demon. But man, I was there.
Run of the mill.
Just it was a normal. It's a demon. The kind that you summon when you screw up a seance, as you do, as everyone always does, as they did in this, because some chick didn't take it seriously, and then boom. This is okay. Hold on. This is a general horror gripe that I have. Why is it in horror movies it's so easy to piss off ghosts? If it was this easy to piss off ghosts and have them break your neck 15 feet above a pool, like they do in this movie, holding you up in the air and throwing shit at you and breaking bottles over your head. If it was that easy to get a ghost that pissed off, we'd really be fucked.
That's true. Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah,
because it's not like the girls in this movie are like.
They did open a door though. Like it's not like we're sitting down and like starting a seance every day and then like, oops, we let one in.
We were joking that they didn't get the whole like they're like, oh, we're gonna do this thing, we're gonna talk to spirit or whatever, and then they're like, you summoned a false spirit by giving a false name, like you've caused all those such things that was wrong. Like the consensus was like, why didn't they warn that? Like, where was the warning sheet?
Yeah.
Like that, you should provide all of the instructions.
Take it seriously.
Important information to have from the beginning.
Like they kind of casual, like, you have to take this seriously. Okay. And that's it. No, if it's that easy to summon a demon,
we need you to sign a waiver.
Yeah, true.
Dude, I went skydiving out here and I had to sign a 12-page document. I had to sign my name at the top and bottom of every page. I had to initial next to every paragraph. And at the very end, I had to copy an entire paragraph by hand and then read it aloud to a camera.
Wow.
Just to get thrown out of a plane safely and land. That's what, yeah. It's more people die by percentage from driving than they do from skydiving. It's relatively safe. And these chicks, oops, I accidentally said that someone died when they didn't, and now we're all going to die because a demon's been released.
True.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, yeah. That's funny. That's funny. You're right. I mean, you do point out a glaring storytelling part. It's very glaring that it's
people who are scared of ghosts.
Silly. Yeah.
People who are scared of ghosts, I have this to say to you. When was the last time you heard of someone getting hit over the head with a wine bottle because of a ghost?
Okay, you know what? That
That
made
shot's
me laugh
so funny though.
So
oh my God.
It's just such a dry like donk like
and she just
it's almost Three Stooges level like
it was
donk.
so good. I forgot about it. I was like I think I was taking a drink or something when I was watching it, and I almost spit it out because it's like and she just like the classic like fall forward too when she gets knocked out. I love that part. Well,
especially after like all the brutal stuff. Like she like at that point you're down to like 2 of them, right? Like
It's
you
just
narrow
the
down.
last 2, yeah.
And after you've seen all this brutally horrendous stuff, and then just to be like this like little like dink.
Well, it's like she jumps in through the window. She comes flying in through the window, right? Crashes open. She comes into the room, and it's like she looks one way, she looks the other way, and then ba-dunk, and down she goes. It's too perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's funny. But this is the thing: is there are so many other moments in the movie that are extremely effective, and they used such creative means with the technology at hand, whether it was what do they even call that, where you had like the mask on, the digital mask
I love that, the digital mask.
Oh, the filter.
What is that called?
Thing. Yeah,
it's like a filter, like a mask filter.
Yeah.
The filter was so
and then
smart.
she's looking around the room, and of course it's the traditional thing that I hate about found footage movies, where they're using the camera to look around the room like you never would with a camera. If you've ever seen anyone trying to film anything with a camera, they always are filming the floor or the ceiling, not like perfectly shot into a room. Especially some of them are holding a computer out like that.
Oh
whatever.
yeah. No, the particularly glaring one is that right after the wine bottle thing, where she's in the house by herself looking for the other girl, and takes time to go grab the computer.
Yeah, or
so that
phone.
She can walk through the house with the computer.
Yeah, come on. But that was so effective. The one girl keeps putting filters on her face, and then the filter is still being used on the computer, and she turns it around to the room, and there's just like a filter mask hanging in the air. And she's like, what the fuck is that? And walks towards it, and it turns towards her. That's a fantastic concept. I mean, I don't know. They were sitting there brainstorming all the things we can do. The feet in the attic was part of the prank that he used. I know that. The other one that I thought was really effective was the girl who had the background of her walking into the room, and
that was great.
The pre-recorded thing looping.
And she was such a good actress.
Phenomenal.
Like out of all of them, she was so like convincing and compelling. Yeah. We were all talking about how bad we felt for her, and she had one of the most brutal ways that she died. That one was
most
brutal.
I mean, the guy burning to death is pretty bad, but hers is disturbing because you don't see a lot of it.
You don't see a lot. You have to imply what's happening to her.
She just
body.
vanishes, and then this loop of her coming into the room plays, and then you see like a quick jump scare of her like breaking through the whatever it is. I don't know how the actual technology works that well.
Well, it's like a background removal. So it's essentially like she was far enough away that it didn't censor as a subject, right? Like when you like put in like a fake background in your video call, she basically was just overlaying a fake background that she had made of herself as a video. And so it was implying that she was too far away from the camera to be seen and be
until
like
she got
as like the
thrown
subject.
Into
but
her.
then she gets thrown close.
Right.
She's getting slammed into the desk, so she breaks through.
But
and
then
the camera's like, oh, there's a person here.
She's texting them gibberish, and they're like, why is she texting us gibberish? And they go to her feed, and she's getting her head slammed into the keyboard, and she's all bloodied and fucked up. And
brutal.
That was the most effective one for me.
Great.
Because it wasn't a jump scare. It was just an unexpected brutal. Like I'd never seen anything like that.
So that one was Caroline. And I feel like Caroline and Emma were the two that had it the worst, because Caroline by far has the most brutal death, but poor Emma is the one who she's the one with the filters on her face. But she watches almost every single one else die
under her blanket,
just crying, and she's got this like blanket that's almost like she's got like it's like a protective thing, like it's like she's safe under the blanket for a really long time, and the minute she leaves the blanket, she's done.
I love that part of the movie because I love that shot that they got from under the blanket where you're just like it's like a tunnel of just her eye and the terror of just her eye. I just thought that was so great.
Let's be clear: the shot that she got of herself,
she got that, she's shooting,
because I really do want to shout that out. Like from what I understand, there was definitely some directing going on. Like he was on a silent channel or like a hidden channel while this was going on, like texting them lines to say or like directing them, kind of around the way. So it's not like the Blair Witch Project where they were like, hey, here's some general ideas of what to do. Go out in the wilderness and just kind of make this up as you go, and we're going to fuck with you. And you guys are going to basically make this movie for us, and we're going to edit it together. This was definitely him controlling it more, but it was still a lot on these actors to put this together. So props to a lot of the shots they got and a lot of the things that they pulled off, because a lot of them were very impressive visually. And
I saw that a lot of their, like, kind of to your point, like he was directing beat to beat and kind of like throwing things their way. But a lot of their like banter in between was improvised between them in the moment, because they were all actually people who knew each other. And then on top of that, a lot of them ended up editing their own footage because of the fact that they recorded it. They had to actually snip it together. And the crazy part for me is there's some stuff in this movie that they don't even like verbally address. One of the things that we actually caught like in our follow-up discussion, and we had to go check at 36:36 in the movie.
Ooh.
It's with Radina. Radina's the one who has the boyfriend and she has the fight and the oven goes off or whatever. When she goes up to go to the bathroom right before she finds the boyfriend's phone and she's walking away, she walks by and his feet are hanging in the background of her shot and none of them notice.
Wow.
Which literally was crazy because one of us in our call noticed it and the rest didn't. And somebody was like, wow, that was so obvious. Like, how do we miss that? And I was like, how would they miss that? That's so unrealistic. And then like 3 of us were like, we didn't see that.
Wow, that's like, great. I didn't notice. I've seen this. That was my third time seeing this movie. So like, and I haven't
36.
Seen it.
You can see the frame, which that's also we joked that adds up to 666 if you do the 2 3s together. I don't know if that's intentional, but 36:36. She's walking away and he's hanging behind her before he drops from the ceiling in the same fashion as the guy in the attic and like the guy in the photo and all the kind of implication of the demon.
Right.
That's fantastic. And also, I don't know if you guys watched it on headphones or not. You did?
Oh, I didn't do the headphone thing. I should have done the headphone thing.
You should have done the headphone thing. Did you? So Ryan, did you hear like a Geiger counter sound every time the demon showed up?
Oh, you mean like the radiation?
The clicking.
Crackle?
Yep.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
Wow.
And the sound design is very, very clearly done. Specific thing that he's doing for that, because a lot of the other times there's silence or there's like a low rumble or the sound design is very clear, and it's very clear that that's the implication, that there's like a little like a distortion or a static or something when the entity is there.
Yeah, the guy that did the Oren Pelly, the guy that did the original Paranormal Activity, I remember that he specifically chose this like sub level, like just below like what you could hear, that kind of gives you this uneasy feeling, so that anytime the entity would arrive in the room, that would you kind of hear it, and so you just kind of feel the mood change because like this tone that he's playing. And this movie definitely did that too, because man,
it's got some nice subtle touches to it. But I actually want to ask something kind of on the opposite, because the movie also has some massive jump scares. And I would say some like pretty classic jump scares. Do you feel like it was too reliant on jump scares, or did it have enough other like general scares? Like, was it scary enough on its own without the boo aspects?
Honestly, I would say one of the strengths of the movie is the variety of the way that like the demon interacts with all the different people. The fact that everybody like everybody kind of has their own thing that happens. Of like Radina has the people dropping and she gets kind of attacked. There's a lot of poltergeisty things that happen. Caroline's getting slammed into the table. One of the ones that really I thought was so cool visually was the I think Emma's the one who pours the powdered sugar or whatever she pours on the ground, and the footprints. That was so cool and so well done. And like the blanket as well, when they throw the blanket. But I think that there was enough variety that some of the jump scares felt like, okay, it's a jump scare, but it mixed it in well enough that it didn't get too tired for me. And honestly, we've already given the spoiler warning. The one at the end, that hallway with her like stepping forward and taking the photograph, you know it's coming, you know it's there, but there was that anticipation was a heavy anticipation. I was like, God, I know it's there, I just don't know when. And they really stretched that moment. I would say I think they did it pretty well. I don't think that the jump scares got too tired
I would say that I agree that there's definitely, moments where it relies on the jump scare. I think when I forget his name, the only guy that's in it, when he pops back in, and
it's like Teddy or something.
Teddy. When Teddy pops back in and he, immediately gets a jump scare of the entity, and it almost looks like a blue flash of something with teeth. I don't know. It looked strange, but that was one of the most ineffective parts for me, because I think that even though their jump scares are fun and effective and do get me, I think that it works best in those quiet moments where you're not quite sure what's going on. Like I loved when the medium disappeared from getting her food, but then she was just gone for a little bit too long, and like I swore I was looking in that darkness. I was like, man, am I seeing something down there in there? And so like just having like a dark room in the quiet moments felt more effective for it than some of the jump scares that did occur.
Yeah.
So
I would argue, I think that Teddy entirely, I think, is one of the most ineffective parts of the film outside of like that first scene. Like that first scene, I think he plays well with the group, but then they have the whole thing where like his fiance disconnects him and he's gone for half the thing, and then he reconnects and. We've joked about like Choi.
He's a Choi.
He feels like the Choi.
He's a
Choi. You're right. He is
and
a
then
Choi.
he's dead.
Yeah.
Like he's
Choi.
like, and granted, his fiance or whatever gets one of the most brutal deaths in the film. But like at least visually, in terms of like the being hung above the pool and her neck snapped and dropped in, like that's terrifying. But also like he feels pretty useless and doesn't really carry any weight compared to the other characters. I feel like he wasn't really well utilized outside of that initial setup.
It's funny because this is actually one where I'll defend the movie and say that he actually, where they bring him back in is actually a really great comedic break. We're in the middle of a lot of intense fucked up shit.
That's true.
And him popping back up and me going, "What's up, you dumb cunts? Hey, how you doing?" Like that's
half of them are dead
fucking
already.
hilarious. Yeah. He's like, "All right, stop playing, you fat bitches," and it's just like he's so dopey that I couldn't help but laugh.
I agree, but she's so distraught, and he's like supposedly their friend, and he pays no attention.
Oh yeah,
to her.
he's like, "Oh, you're playing with me, stop it." And I couldn't help but laugh at it. And it's dopey.
God.
It's dopey, but the thing is at this point in the movie, I'm like, all right, we're along for a ride, and I'm not taking it too seriously. So it didn't break the movie for me. I mean, he's an annoying character from the beginning. They're all kind of annoying characters at the beginning, and so. Just
specifically Gemma. I think if we've got to fuck that guy for this movie, it's Gemma.
Gemma being the last person alive pissed me off so much.
My God, fuck Gemma.
Okay, so we all agree the fuck that guy award goes to Gemma in this movie.
Definitely, yes.
Easy.
FTG winner.
Insufferable.
Yeah, insufferable. She's the reason it all happens.
She really
exactly.
is.
Yeah, your buddy Jack in high school. Sure, Gemma. Sure.
Oh my God.
God.
Brutal.
Do you know how many? Here's the thing. This is why more people don't die from poltergeists in the real world, because you know how many Gemmas there are in this world
that just don't take it seriously.
They don't take it.
Oh my goodness.
But still survive. Yeah.
But speaking of jump scares, I do want to say real quick, because I can't stand an unearned jump scare. And this movie had a couple that were just jump scare for jump scare's sake. But it also did have a lot of really good scares that it absolutely earned. So I feel like it evened itself out. And specifically the ending jump scare, which you just see coming a mile away. You know they're going to jump scare you. You know they're going to jump scare you. And when it does come, you're like, there it is. And it still fucking gets you. And you know how bad it gets you? So I just sent you guys a still frame on your phones. I sent you guys a still frame of that final flash of the movie. Do you know Do you know how long it took me?
Oh my gosh!
Do you know?
No
do you know how long it took me
that.
to capture that? It took me like 5 minutes of scrubbing on Shutter, which is not easy to do. I had to blow it up all my entire size of my screen to get. It's a micro. It's like 2 or 3 frames. It's not even like a second. And every time I got it wrong, it would go Brah! And give me the jump scare all over again.
And
I
hilarious.
Fucking jumped every time. Because it's so sudden, because it's such a bright flash, because the sound effect is so effective.
And they build up the anticipation. They really have you. They take every step of that hallway.
And if you are listening to this show now and you have not seen the movie, what the fuck are you doing? But in addition, if you haven't seen it and you go watch it, you go watch that right now. You fast forward to 30 seconds from the end of this movie and you just watch them walk down that hall and you get the jump scare. And you know what? It'll fucking make you jump, or it'll give you the.
It'll still get you.
It'll give you the goosies.
It's a good one. You're right.
You can't help it.
You're right.
You can't help it. I mean, especially in my case with the headphones on and everything too.
What helps is the countdown clock. Like having that countdown clock, like psychologically really mess with you. You're like, something's happening in 3 seconds. Something is happening in 3 seconds, and I don't know what it is. So it's like
do they have? I didn't even realize that they had like the timer.
Yeah, it's counting down in the corner.
Yeah, because it's saying the call's gonna end. Like your call's ending, and it's counting down. It's so great because you're like, wait, so this movie's going to end in 7 seconds. What's going to happen? They're still alive. Like, what's happening right now? So I just love that countdown clock in the top.
That is the biggest like balls on your face horror movie director move I think I can think of is where he's just like, I'm going to tell you when this movie's going to end, and I'm still going to fucking make you jump. That's I actually really am. I'm proud of him for taking that and saying, I'm going to get you. Fuck you. I'm making you jump. Like I really am impressed by that.
I saw there's a lot of fan theories about this movie out there in terms of like different stuff with different characters and how things went down. But there's some about the woman who does the seance, Sybil or Samel or Samar or whatever her name is.
I forget. Sybil sounds right.
Is it Ceylon? Ceylon. Ceylon, yeah. So, because she loses connection, and that's part of how everything goes wrong. And right before she loses connection, it looks like stuff gets like knocked off her shelf or something. Like something gets knocked over in her house before the signal cut. And like, there are people out there who say they like see a figure or whatever. Like, I went back to check. I didn't really see anything in the frame. I just like this stuff that gets knocked over. But one interesting fan theory I saw that I thought was cool was so they have to call her back, right? And they have to like talk to her over the phone. And there's speculation out there that because they talk about, she warns them that like there's possession and possession could occur, that when they call her that the demon has already possessed Ceylon and that she gives them false information that makes it worse.
Interesting.
And that the demon actually like basically gives them instructions to allow it more freedom to maneuver between them. And I have no idea if that's true, but I just thought that was a cool fan theory.
Yeah. Severing their connection.
And like it does line up.
Severing their connection out the door. So they talk about the psychic rope that they have that's going out the door. And then they cut that.
Isolates them rather than like separates.
Exactly. It cuts them off from the group. That's the fan theory.
That's really cool. Cause I'm even thinking when it's Ceylon, is that her name? When
I think so.
When she gets cut off, she's doing this, right? She's like turning her body kind of away, like as if someone was like jumping behind her and scaring her, like going, that's what I feel like is the last image you see of her. So, I caught that again watching for this, and I was like, oh, it looks like she was getting attacked or something was happening to her as well. So I love that theory. I could totally get behind that fan theory. That makes sense. It lines up, like you said.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool idea, and I think there's a lot more to dive into in this movie when you really think about it. Despite its 50 minutes length, and despite the fact that it is a pretty bare bones plot, which is So it's I gotta say I was pretty impressed by it, despite the fact that it was a found footage movie.
So can we chat about that for just a moment, because I know you have beef with the found footage genre, and I have a love for it. So I'm just curious, without going into another 30 minutes, if we can. But maybe this is another topic for another time. But this is our first found footage movie.
Are you implying, Dan, that I'm long-winded at times?
No, I'm thinking I can be too. Look at me. I'm just even trying. I'm still talking right now.
Dude, we do a podcast.
You both are long of tooth.
Long of tooth and long of wind. Luckily we're on a podcast where that's what we do, is talk about things. And no, I'll keep it brief. As far as found footage, it very rarely works for me, because one of the things that you have to do when you watch a movie is suspend your disbelief, right? You need to buy in completely. And I find that way too often in found footage movies, it's way too easy to see the cracks. It's way too easy to have that suspension of disbelief broken. It's kind of, to me, it's an uncanny valley thing, right? It's like when you watch the Polar Express. It was before you really had.
Oh yeah,
right.
Polar Express is brutal for Uncanny Valley,
but that's why it's always held up as kind of the example of it, right? If you ever wonder what the Uncanny Valley is, that weird gulf between when something looks realistic enough, but it's gets to that point where it's so close to being realistic that you can tell how unrealistic it is.
Yeah,
because it's not doing the little things that realism needs. That's found footage to me. 9 times out of 10, and even in this movie. It's got some pretty good acting across the board. I have to say, for a found footage movie, one of the reasons why it succeeds so much is because there's very few cracks in the acting. Everyone's got a couple of little moments where they're not 100% there, and that's to be expected because it's really hard to act natural 100% of the time when you're acting. And especially if some of these people are not trained actors who, as we said, we suspect not all of them are trained actors. So in general, found footage movies don't work for me. And there have been a couple that do. And it's as a genre in general, I can say that 9 times out of 10, they don't work for me. And this is going back to the beginnings of found footage, like Cannibal Holocaust, which everyone considers kind of the first major found footage movie, even though there were a couple before that. Orson Welles tried to make one. I think the first one they said was like 1961's The Connection by Shirley Clarke. But anyway, it is a fairly modern genre because they found that it could be profitable with Blair Witch Project, which is more a success of marketing than it is really of film, in my opinion, because the movie itself is kind of just, it's 5 minutes of a movie. But with the marketing campaign, it's extremely effective, right? So
true.
The film itself is kind of average, if not sub-average. And I would actually say that about most found footage movies is that, by and large, they don't really hold up under scrutiny. I will say this one holds up better than most. They put out there exactly what they are. The runtime isn't too long in the tooth. We're not sitting with the characters long enough for them to become too annoying. And ultimately, everyone plays their part well enough that we're not sitting there looking at the seams in the movie. That's my short version. How's that?
I love it. No, it's great. Love it. No, I just wanted to hear it. So thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
Honestly, I think that like we said, I think part of why the acting stands out so much too, beyond the fact that they're not even really trained actors, is they're not on sets. They're they're actually in their own houses. Because they even show later that they do like the behind the scenes seance or whatever of like not actually the movie. And they're still in they're in the same spots as they are in the movie. Like it's their actual homes.
Wow.
And so I have to imagine there's to their credit, I have to imagine there's some sort of difficulty just being in your living room and trying to like act for a film with no stimulus but your screen and whatever. But I think that most of them accomplish it pretty well. Honestly, I think the weakest one for me, at least, was the girl who's like in contact with Salen, the one who like sets it all up. The first one that we see, like, honestly, for me, she felt like the least convincing of a character.
It's funny because she's actually I think the most quote unquote famous actress in the movie.
Really?
And I feel like she actually did a pretty good job because she had something going on with her character. Like there was something going on with her. She set it all up. I sensed a backstory that she had made up for that character where she was actually trying to contact a specific someone in the afterlife that we never find out about. She was the one that I felt had more going on with her character than anybody else, but that also meant that she was less immediate with her emotions because she was more, she was thinking more. But that being said, guys, we're getting to the point in the show where we've got to kind of wrap things up here. My final question about the movie is, do you think that this will stand the test of time, or is this a movie that's going to just be forgotten because it's a little bit too of its time? It's too specific of a time frame and of a feeling, or will it last because of that and it's going to become a timepiece?
I would say I'm just going to be optimistic and I'm going to say that I hope that it's remembered because it was filmed entirely on Zoom. So it utilized a technology. We'll be stuck in that time period. Like everybody will know that this was a pandemic movie. This was shot during COVID. Like it can't escape that. But I hope that it's remembered for embracing that time and turning something like positive while we were all kind of trapped in our homes for a bit. So that's why I think it will stand the test of time and still be watched, a decade from now.
Honestly, I agree. I think the context is going to fade over time in the sense that like there are going to be people who aren't going to be able to like contextualize the kind of setting that COVID was at a certain point. Like the feeling of COVID very much is in this movie, and that's going to be kind of something that people eventually don't understand. But I think the fact that it's rooted in a video call, at this point, video calls sticking around. Like we like they had video calls in Star Trek as a prediction before we ever had video calls as a thing that we can do. And then like, also speaking of video calls, whatever happened to Skype? Like Skype dropped the ball before COVID. Like remember when really Skype was a thing?
Zoom and so then like really scooped it up.
Somehow Zoom picked up the baton. Skype just fumbled. But that aside, like there's always I think from this point forward, video calling is going to be a thing that exists in some form or other. And it might evolve, it might change, but I think at this point it's a medium that exists and will exist in its own context. And so even if this specific form ages out, it's going to be people looking at like, it's the difference between a smartphone and a rotary phone. It's still a phone. People are going to be able to be like, oh, like that's what video calls used to look like. And like maybe the specifics of like turn up your microphones isn't going to stick around, whatever that might be. But I still think that the actual like the meat of the movie will probably stand up.
All the technology they were using, like you said, the filters and whatnot, are going to be that's so rudimentary. That's all they had.
Yeah, they're that's like, why did her face turn into a snake? What happened? Like only her face? What about the rest of her body?
The background that she recorded is what the hell is that? Why is she doing that? Yeah, no, I think it's definitely going to be a curio and a timepiece, but I also don't think that it's going to really stand the test of time. Other than as that, because it's so rooted in that time. I mean, really, if anyone wants to understand COVID, all they need to do is watch this movie or watch Tiger King. Either way, you'll totally get COVID. But that being said,
that's a great night in. You just that's a double feature.
Host and Tiger King. And popcorn in the microwave. That is a COVID night right there. Boys, we have a cornucopia for our next segment here. This is why you died. It's the name of the show, and it's something that we do every show. We figure out why people died, and this is I think this is the first movie we can say everybody died.
Yeah, everybody did die.
I don't know if Salen died or not. I don't know if I don't think the psychic died, but
Salen and the two at the end are kind of a question. But pretty much everyone else,
we're pretty much convinced they're dead. So
yeah, they're probably
everybody died. So we have a whole ton of people to choose from. So Ryan, I'm going to start with you this episode. Would you like to tell us why someone died?
I'm going to jump on what I meant. I kind of hinted at it earlier, but Emma had a magic protective blanket, man. She literally sat there and watched everyone else in the call, every single one, including the guy who had left and then came back. She witnessed the death of every single person by herself, protected under her blanket. And the minute she took it off, she was exposed. The demon could get her. Whatever that blanket was made of, it must have been lined with some sort of salt or silver on the inside. She had it, man. She had it together and she let it go. The magic blanket. Poor Emma took it off and she threw it on the demon instead.
She threw on the demon. She gave the demon the magic blanket, and then she
gave the demon, and then she took a dive out a window.
She tried to fly. You can't fly. You don't have your magic blanket. You don't have wings. What are you trying to do, Emma?
Faith, trust, pixie dust, and your magic blanket. You gave up the last one.
You gave them all up, and this is why you died. Dan, who died in this movie that the reason why?
You know what? Teddy's girlfriend was so annoying.
Oh my God, agreed.
That's just why. That was why she died, because
she was on the screen for less than 30 seconds, and
immediately
she was annoying
you're
to
like,
you?
oh, get her away from me. I don't like who. Yeah, I was right on the side of all the girls. They were all complaining about her as soon as Teddy popped up, and they're like, wait, don't say anything. Shh, there she is. Like you felt like, oh, there she is, and then like she lived up to it. 5 seconds in, you're like, yep, I agree. Teddy should not be with this girl, and there she is, broken neck in there, and that's why she died. She's just annoying, not a good person. Bye.
Wow. Someone, Jesus Christ, don't annoy Dan.
Damn, Dan.
Don't annoy Dan.
Don't annoy me in my found footage movies. Come on now.
Takes him less than 30 seconds. And he's like, I want her dead.
Get out.
I want her dead. Fuck this chick. God. She's messing with my Teddy.
She hung up on his friends. He hasn't seen him in years, and she's like, "Bye, Teddy can't talk." Blah. It's like, no.
We all agreed on Gemma earlier, but Dan's like, all right, fine, I'll give it up from Teddy's girlfriend.
Yeah,
we'll give it to Gemma.
Man,
I'll take it back.
The fuck that guy prize is
change my vote.
It's no longer unanimous. This is tragic.
I'm gonna change it. Yeah.
No.
We gotta change it up. Yeah, look, we can show her. We can show all 30 seconds she was in this movie, and she was probably one of the most annoying ones. So
all those girls were annoying, and they were annoyed by her.
They really, yes.
I'm gonna defend Caroline here. Caroline was sweet, and I felt bad for her the whole movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
that poor girl was
she
so
didn't want to be
scared.
there. She was like the girl. She was like the girl that he liked in what's the movie?
Oh, Claire or
Claire,
whatever.
Yeah,
in the invitation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it's all the girls that are like, you know what? I don't want to be here. I got to leave right now. And then I'm
sympathetic for the reasonable
no,
ones.
I agree. She was the most scared. She was like, I don't want to do this. I think we should go. I don't think
he's
we should
soft.
do this.
He's soft for all the Sashas in the movies, like the sweet, reasonable women that like they know better than all this bullshit. And they're just nice.
Yeah,
I like the sweet ones.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Aww.
Exactly.
All right, Ian.
Sasha's across the room and looked over and went like, stuck her tongue out.
All right, that's my turn. Well, see, I'm gonna bring it right back to Gemma.
Okay.
Because she got my fuck that guy award, and she's double gating it. She's getting the fuck that guy award, and she's getting the this is why you died. You know why you died? Because you played games. You played games in a horror movie. You were playing games with everyone's emotions. You were pretending like you were something special, and you didn't realize it's the I'm gonna go up the stairs.
Girl.
It's the pick me girl. It's everything. It's the person who just does not take shit seriously when they're told to take shit seriously. They don't follow the rules. They're gonna go and do their own thing because I don't trust what you're saying. I don't care about science, and I don't care about what you say about things I don't know about. I know better than all of that. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And guess what happens? If that's not a metaphor for COVID, I don't know what is. So Gemma, you died because you fucked around and you found out. You didn't follow the rules, you fucked around, and everybody died.
Wow.
This is why you died.
She did not deserve to make it to the end.
She did, because she got to see all of her friends die because of her actions.
Well, true, but she also left the call for some of them. Some of them died while she was disconnected trying to rush to the first
But then
girl's
she
house.
and then she saw them all dead on the line.
Correct.
But she was
Correct.
trying to rush to the first girl's house to fix her problem, to fix the first girl was the person that was
true.
the most hurt by that because she was the one who arranged the call. So she was trying to make up for what she'd done, but it was too late because you can't take that shit back, Gemma. Fuck that girl.
She did it.
FTG award, Gemma. This is why you died, Gemma.
Wow.
Scully award time, ladies and gentlemen.
Scully
awards. This is the moment of truth among all of us here. Dan, you're the one that picked this. You can start.
I did, and I was gonna go higher, but after the chat, it's gonna go just a little bit lower because I thought that this movie was a bit stronger on the front of explaining why filming was always going on, which is something that you always have to throw out the window when you do found footage movies. And so I thought it was accomplishing it pretty well, but after talking about it, you're right. Like, who's grabbing the laptop to go walk around the room and all that stuff. So anyways, it was going to be higher, like an 8. I'm going to go 7 because I think it's still higher up there. But, it's not my favorite found footage movie, but I love what it did and what it captured for the time. So it's still higher up there for me, but I'm still going to go 7 because there's some. No, wait, hold on. I can't do that to this movie. I'm going to go 8. Let's go 8. I can't go 7. I'm going to go 8 because I like it too much.
Point up. God damn.
I do. I like it too much. It's such a fun movie too. It's so great that it's only 57 minutes. Like if you are tired, but you're like, you know what? I got to get a good horror movie in, put on Host. It's a fun movie too. So yeah, I'll stick with my
what's
8.
your favorite found footage movie then?
Favorite Favorite found footage movie.
You think about it, we'll come back to you.
That question hit him like a sack of bricks.
Yeah,
it's like, wait, which one?
Oh God, there's so many. Wait, you think about it. We'll find out your favorite found footage movie when we come back to you and we do your drawing at the end of the Scullys.
Sounds good.
Ryan, what Scully rating do you give to Host?
So I came into this episode with my score and I stuck with it to the end. I'm giving it a 7.
Okay.
And the reason being is I think this movie is good, not great. I think that there's definitely there's some really cool things about this movie. Like I shouted out the like powdered sugar or whatever she puts on the floor. That I thought was such a cool, well executed scene for the fact that it was done by like one person in their house. Some of the face slamming, like there were some cool twists I didn't anticipate, and there were some cheesy deaths that I thought were just like I thought Teddy's death wasn't very compelling. Like he gets knocked out and he's on fire, and then the footage just cuts like. That his death didn't really do a lot for me, and so
after
I think
that dude really set himself on fire, though.
After a minute of Chekhov's ballerina box playing that stupid song,
right? Well, the ballerina box was cool, and I thought that something was going to happen with it. I thought it was going to stop playing music. Nothing
didn't work. And so, I hated it.
There was some stuff that I felt like could have been cooler. But honestly, I think that it does a lot of things that it set out to accomplish pretty well. It's a pretty good movie throughout, and I think that the length is good for what it is. And I think it's made cooler by the fact that it's a group of friends that were just hanging out and we're like, let's do this thing. And not a lot of them had a lot of experience, and they managed to pull off something that's fairly compelling and fairly well done quality-wise, despite the limitations in which it is set, and is deep enough that you can kind of dig into some of the stuff both on screen and behind it. And so I think overall, even though it could have reached higher heights, and there were definitely some things that felt like they didn't quite deliver, I think that it accomplished what it set out to do fairly well. So a 7 from me.
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty fair grade. I actually was ready to give this a higher score as well, just because I was really impressed from a technical standpoint, from a creativity standpoint, from a performance standpoint. I thought the runtime was a bonus, especially the way that they used it with the plot, just creativity from start to finish. So I was ready to give it a 7. And then after really considering it and talking about it on this show, I was ready to give it an 8 because it really made me feel the love of filmmaking and the love of the craft and the creativity and everything else. So ready to give it an 8, but unfortunately, the same way that I automatically give Japanese movies a plus half a point, I take away a half a point from found footage movies. So a 7.5 skulls from me.
Nice.
Fair enough.
There it is.
All right, there it is. So
it.
Dan, that leaves us with you. What is your favorite found footage movie?
Man, I was racking my brain, and it's going to change the moment I say of my favorite. So I'll probably want to change it immediately. But I have to say one that is so effective is Wreck. I love Wreck. I think Wreck is such a fantastic, it makes sense. It's like, Ryan, if you haven't seen it, it's essentially this building goes into lockdown. Have you heard of Wreck?
No, don't spoil it for him.
Okay. I'm just saying something happens. Okay, anyways.
It's very likely that movie it's probably going to come up.
It's a movie. Something happens.
Something probably come up. You're right. Okay. Anyways, Wreck is an extremely effective, very scary found footage movie.
The same way that I'm not going to tell him a damn thing about Lake Mungo.
Oh yeah.
Also a very good found footage movie.
That's true.
But that being said, Dan,
that sounds like a Willy Wonka.
Oh my gosh.
It's a never-ending jawbreaker that keeps getting more fucked up the more into the center you get.
God.
But so Dan, you're out of a movie, which means it's time for you to reach into your trick or treat box over there and pull out a brand new prompt so that you can be inspired.
And while he does, you've got a prompt that you're about to cash in.
Oh, I do.
And then I still have David Cronenberg.
You still have David Cronenberg, and you have another week to figure out what you want to do with that one. So you will tell us all what Cronenberg movie you're picking on the next episode.
Ooh.
I'm going to tell us all what I'm picking in a couple of seconds. But right now, Dan, tell us, what did you pick out of your trick or treat box?
I picked. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
Cannibalism.
Yeah!
Oh God!
Yes! Oh my God! I'm so happy.
Wow.
Well, I wonder What type of movie we're watching with Dan?
Cannibal.
That does not leave a whole lot of wiggle room.
Woof.
Good luck.
At least there's a lot of them.
Okay.
That's true. There's quite a few cannibal movies to pick
true.
from.
All right. I'm going to think about that.
The question is, are you going to go left field or are you going to go straight for the Italians? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
What do the Italians do?
Well, you might have just given him his answer there by saying that.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Which means it's my time to reveal.
I thought they were known for their pasta.
Well, you know what looks like pasta?
No, don't.
Intestines.
Great. Love that. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm going to reveal what the movie is for the next episode of This Is Why You Died. My prompt was Lost. And so I kind of pulled a little bit of a feather from Dan's cap here to mix metaphors.
Really?
And I wanted to go a little esoteric. I mean, the first one that came to my mind was The Ritual, which is a freaking amazing movie. But I know Dan and I have both seen it. It's really recent. It's fairly well known. I wanted to go a little bit lesser known. So I went a little bit left field, and I'm going to have to explain why Lost relates to this movie, but it does.
Okay.
But the movie I'm going to pick for next episode is The Empty Man.
Oh God, Dan's face just lit up.
Have you seen that movie, Dan?
Mm-hmm,
he has
seen it. Only once, and it needs to be viewed more than once.
It begs a second viewing for sure.
It definitely does. So I'm excited about this. Wow.
There's so much in it to discuss as well. It's going to be a really fun episode to talk about that movie. And Ryan, I'm so excited to share it with you because it's just a fantastic movie. So
it sounds cool.
It's very cool. And for whatever reason, it's really hard to find because it did not get any love. And I cannot wait to promote this movie. So The Empty Man will be coming up in 3 episodes when it comes, the next episode, 3 episodes. It's coming up in next episode. The Empty Man is coming up next episode. So y'all go watch The Empty Man from, I believe, 2018.
That's pretty recent.
I have to admit, I actually picked this one as we were doing the episode. That's because I totally forgot that it was my turn. It is.
Both of you have forgotten that it's your pick during an episode.
We did that. I did that.
What?
You're right.
It's only a show, guys.
I literally had The Ritual in my head all day, and then I was like, no, I can't do that. It's too obvious. I had like all these like Lost in the Woods movies. I don't want to do a Lost in the Woods movies. So it's 2020 actually. So it's also the same year as Host. I think it probably.
Oh wow!
It probably died because of COVID as well. But so it was October 23rd, 2020. Ouch. So The Empty Man. Yeah. Everybody watch The Empty Man from 2020 by next episode because we're going to talk about it. And this has been a really fun episode. Thank you for recommending Host, Dan, and Ryan.
Glad you sort of enjoyed it.
Thanks for exposing my voice memo, boys.
You're welcome. I'm going to go listen to the second half.
It just gets better and better. And Ryan, we look forward to hearing your choice of Cronenberg movies coming right up. But that has been all for this episode. So thank you everybody for listening. And as always, thank you for joining us right here on
This Is Why You Die.